So you're thinking about buying a house in Littleton, Colorado, and you might be actually relocating from a different state to move to Littleton, or maybe you're just thinking about moving within Colorado to Littleton or an area where you're just trying to really set down your roots. Well, whatever it is, the buying process can be stressful, and sometimes you actually wonder to yourself, how do I actually buy? Maybe you've bought a home before and it's just been so many years and you just kind of forget what the process really like. So in this video, we're going to kind of go over what the home buying process is like and how do you actually buy a house in Littleton, Colorado. So if this is our first time meeting, my name is Tyler Norris and I'm a local realtor out here in Colorado. My mission with these videos is to give you a bunch of information so it makes the buying process in Colorado a little bit easier and a little bit less stressful. So if this is your first time visiting my channel, I want to say thank you for visiting and make sure you hit that like and notification button and subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all my videos. So in this video, I'm going to go over a bunch of different steps on how to buy a house in Littleton, Colorado, and hopefully by the end of this video, you feel a little bit more comfortable with buying a house in Littleton or just buying a house in general at the end of this video. So let's get into the first step, which is get pre-approved and know what your budget is. So this is a really good and important step once you find a realtor, is to find that lender and start that process sooner than later. Even if you're 6 months to a year away, get an understanding of what it looks like to buy a house, because you might be surprised that it's not as much as you think, or you might realize, hey, this is too much, we might want to rent or find a different strategy. So this is also a good thing to do, is before you start looking for a house and get super excited for something that might be out of your price range, this is a good one to know so you know what your price range is. Now, lenders might give you a good price range and a price range out to 800, but in that you might not be comfortable with actually that mortgage payment at 800, even though you are pre-approved for that. So really have a good understanding with a really good lender who really wants to paint a really good picture for you of what that monthly looks like with taxes, insurance, and all that. And they can give you a really good ballpark. And then that helps you kind of set up the next step, is where you start actually searching for houses. So if you need a good lender, I will put a lender's information that I use all the time in the description below, and you can reach out to Tim, and he loves having these type of conversations where just starting the ball and just figuring out what's best for you and your situation. Next up is choosing the area and making sure you pick the right area for you and your family. So with this, I love giving my clients a buyer questionnaire. Even if you know the area and you know the areas you want to be, or you're relocating to Colorado and it's the first time being here and you have no idea what neighbor to be, the buyer's questionnaire is a really good tool to help you and the agent figure out what's best for you. Now, this is a part of a process that I tell my clients to really enjoy and have fun with it. If you are married, just sit down one night, put the kids down, and open a bottle of wine and fill out the buyer's questionnaire and enjoy this process. You're getting to dream about your future, think about the next house that you want to buy, and just have fun with it. And then once I usually get the buyer's questionnaire from my clients, I have a really good understanding of what they like and what they might want. So if they don't know the area, the buyer's questionnaire is going to help me narrow down what area might be best for them. So if you are looking in Littleton and you have a family and you're just trying to figure out what neighborhood would be best, I might guide you based on your answers to go to a place like the neighborhood like South Park, where South Park is a very friendly neighborhood for families. Or over in Centennial, you have Heritage Greens, where it's just like a really good HOA that has really good amenities for families and pools. And then it's just a neighborhood that kids can be like we were in the 90s, just running around, biking with other kids in the neighborhood. Or you might fill out the buyer's questionnaire and I might say, hey, oh wow, you want to be more in the mountains, so we might push you towards Indian Hills, or there's locations that actually have the address of Littleton but are still more in the foothills. So with the buyer's questionnaire, it's a really good tool, and then it kind of helps us in the process of where is the best location for you and sets us up for step number 3. So in step 3, we are going to start actually touring homes and setting up your automatic search. Probably your automatic search first, and then we'll start touring homes. But with the auto search, we are going to take your buyer's questionnaire and filter based off of the buyer's questionnaire what your search should be. That's going to include locations, going to include how many beds and baths, and anything else we can filter down based off of your buyer's questionnaire. And then you'll start getting an auto email with houses that are coming on the market or maybe have had a price change, and you will start seeing what's going on. There you can start filtering out like, we like this or we don't, and then that's where I start figuring out what you start liking. And I'll start this whole process called matchmaking, where I will look for houses that might fit your situation and send them to you, and then you can either say yes, this is right on, or this is no, this is missing this, or we're not a huge fan of that. And then once we start narrowing down a really good list, and depending on your timeline, we will actually start the searching process. Now, even if you're a year out, I actually like starting the search process of like walking into houses, feeling it, and just enjoying this process sooner than later. Now, we're not going to go see 30 homes in 1 week, but we might start seeing 1 or 2 homes. And then when we get closer to your actual timeline, if it's a year from now, we will then ramp it up a little bit more. But this gives us an idea to learn each other's styles and tastes and figure out what's best for you, so we're not feeling rushed once it's game time and we need to start offering on houses. So this is a really good fun part of the whole search, is to actually start touring houses, and we are sending houses back and forth to each other, matchmaking, figuring out what's the best thing for you and your family. So in step 4, we are going to start making the offer. We've done our search, we found the house that's actually perfect for you and your family, and you're excited to move in. So we're going to take a look at a couple different things before we actually make an offer. We're going to see what the market is doing, and because based on the market might change how we offer. Now, if it was back in 2022, you're pretty much offering what they want, or you're going over what the list price is, and you are also having to waive a bunch of other contingencies like your inspection. Now, if you look at the market that we are in today, there's a chance that you might actually be able to offer a little less than what listing price is, or a lot less what list price is, depending on how many days on market it's been and what their situation is. And then also there's other things we can do with the offer to make it better for you or better for the seller, where they actually accept our offer. So that's another whole video. We can actually break down what an offer looks like and how that goes together, and all the different options that we can do by thinking outside the box and making sure we get the right offer for you, to make sure that you're super excited by the end of the 30 days once it's closed, that you are happy to be in that house. So step number 4, again, is we're making a strong offer and making sure that you win the contract with the offer that you want to happen. So your offer gets accepted and it's on the house that you want. And with this, a lot of people, some people, we've put in multiple different offers, and people get discouraged if their offer's not accepted. And to be honest, sometimes I just tell my clients, which I truly believe is maybe God didn't want you to have that offer or that house at that moment, and they just shut the door for you, and there's always other options out there. So we take it in stride and we keep going until we get your offer accepted. And then once the offer is accepted, we start going through that whole process, which is normally 30 days, where we start having the appraisal done, the inspection done, and you start getting all the loan information. So in this process, with the appraisal, you are looking at a couple costs here, right? So the cost of an appraisal can range from anywhere from like $300 to $800. You're looking at inspections, and out here in Colorado, I strongly tell my clients to get a sewer inspection, a regular inspection, and a radon inspection at least. You can even go down the rabbit hole and have an HVAC guy come out and take a look at the HVAC. You could have a roofer come out, and you could have a lot more inspections done, but at least these 3, with the home inspector, also the sewer line, and then also the radon getting inspected. And that can also range from another $300 all the way up to $800, depending on the size of the house and what ones you actually want to have inspected. So those are some costs you need to have consideration with. So you're looking at anywhere from like maybe $2,000 to $3,000 of fees when it comes to appraisals and also inspections. That's also probably more on the higher end. We will make sure we have those numbers a little bit more solidified for your situation before we make any decisions on getting those inspections. So once we get the inspections and we're through the inspection phase, and we also get the appraisal, and the appraisal's good to go, you'll also be working with the lender to get the loan. Now, this is a stressful process for a lot of people, but I give my clients a heads up with the lending process that they're going to just ask for a lot of information and ask for a lot of documents from you to make sure that you are qualified for the loan and you are having everything that you need to get the loan. And they might ask you the same document over and over just to make sure they are keeping everything updated in their system. So that situation can change depending on your situation and all that, but that's a really good conversation to have with a lender, and they can set those type of expectations for you. Our last step is closing day, and closing day can look like this, where we set up a final walkthrough where we get to take a final look at the house to make sure all the items that we've asked to be taken care of are taken care of, and we're taking over the house in the condition that we think that it should be in and what we expect. So if there's holes in the wall or a water leak, I had one buddy where they were about to do their final walkthrough, and the night before the house got struck by lightning and they didn't end up taking over the house because it wasn't in the condition that they first thought they were going to be buying it. So we just want to make sure the house is in the right condition and everything is done before we call this house your home. Next, we will go to the title company most likely and fill out a bunch of paperwork and actually do the paperwork to take over the house. In the state of Colorado, title will actually transfer over the water to your name, and then you will just have to call the electric company and to make sure that the electricity is also in your name. And after all of that, you get to have the keys and you get to go to your new home, and maybe that's in Littleton, Colorado, maybe that's in Centennial, or maybe Denver, or wherever we found the best place for you and your family in the Denver metro area. Then we find that house for you and you get to call it your home. I also love to give my clients a preferred vendor list that I have created over the years of just vendors I've used or vendors that other people have used and have highly recommended. And it's just a one-stop shop for you, so you don't have to go Googling for different vendors. You have vendors right there, so if you want to get work done before you move in, or if you run into issues along the whole time owning the house, you have a preferred vendor list to go to kind of take some of the stress out of owning a home for you. So this is the exciting part. This is the really fun part. And if this video really helped you out, that is awesome. And if you're like, man, I still have a little bit of questions, or man, what was that again? I actually have a buyer's guide that you actually can download, and I'll put the link in the description below. It is completely free, but it kind of goes over these steps we talked about and is a really good map for you to kind of keep track when you are buying. Let's be honest, people do not do this every day. And if you're not doing this every day, you kind of can forget what the buying process is and what it can be like. So thank you so much for watching this video, and make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next video.